I am Thomas Luther Vandross, buried at the George Washington Memorial Park in Paramus, New Jersey. He's on All Fates on the Hill Mausoleum, the Southwest Quad, Building 3, Section B, Row A, Tier 4. So when you enter the main gates, you go all the way in the back, up that hill, and you will find Mr. Vandross. Paying my respects to Luther Vandross. Luther Vandross is a musical legend. 40 million records. 40 million records worldwide he has sold. He had achieved 11 consecutive platinum albums and 8 Grammy Awards. Some including Best Male R&B Vocal Performance on 4 separate occasions. He had the Grammys Award for Song of the Year, and this was one of his last songs. It was recorded not long before his death. Dance with My Father, which is a very popular song, and he died pretty young. Only in his 50s, he died. I believe 54. And he even, before his death, he died young, and I would say that his musical career started pretty late as well. So Luther grew up in Manhattan, Kips Bay, 4th child and 2nd son. His father was also a singer and an upholster. His mother was a nurse. And, being raised on the Lower East Side in Vandross, to kind of keep himself away from trouble, he started as early as the age of 3. His parents wanted to keep him occupied. He had his own phonograph, and Luther taught himself to play the piano by ear. So he did graduate high school, did Vandross, in William Howard Taft High School in the Bronx there in 1969. He attended Western Michigan University. School was really not for him. He did get a little bit of education. It was really not for him. And he wanted to pursue a career in music. For much of the 70s there, he was really doing vocals. He worked for vocals, for groups such as Roberta Flack, Shaka Khan, Benny King, Beth Midler, Barbara Streisand, David Bowie, Cat Stevens, Gary Glitter, Ringo Starr, numerous. Before, he had that solo breakthrough, he was also in a quintet, singing quintet in the late 70s there. Luther was part of. He was in a quintet, and he also kind of was dipping his toe, and he wrote and sang commercial jingles from late 70s to early 80s. Companies such as NBC, Mountain Dew, Kentucky Fried Chicken, Burger King, Juicy Fruit. So he was slowly but surely getting his name out there. Vandross would kind of make his career breakthrough. He was a singer, pop dance act called Change. They had a hit called The Glow of Love, in which Luther was the lead singer. he even said that that song was the most beautiful song that he had ever sang. That's how much he held that song up to him. He was also a producer. And as well as during this time after breaking through, he had a series of successful R&B albums, during this time frame. 1983, as he's going up the charts, he had the opportunity to work with Dionne Warwick. He was producing, writing songs on the How Many Times Can We Say Goodbye, which was Warwick's fourth album. The title track debuted at number 27 on the Hot 100 chart, number 7 on the R&B, number 4 adult contemporary. He also produced It's Hard For Me To Say for Diana Ross. Just all over the place as far as his musical influence. He also sang the ad-libs and background vocals in Stevie Wonder's hit Part-Time Lover. You know that song. 1990s, he's collaborating, producing for Whitney Houston, rather. Britney Spears. Who Do You Love? Power of Love. More albums following with, he was growing very quickly. Luther Vandross, again, if you haven't, although it was a relatively speaking, short solo career per se, he has some hits. I think the most popular hit that you guys would know of recently now would probably be Dance With My Father. That came out in 2003. He also songs, which one? The Power of Love. I'm going to do it. No justice to Mr. Vandross, but you know that song. The Power of Love. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, I know, bad, but you've heard that song as well. It still gets played often. He was on tour. He toured often as well. So he was always out there and about. I told you his Grammy Awards, for Never Too Much, for Forever, Always, for Love, The Night I Fell in Love, Give Me the Reason, Any Love, She Won't Talk to Me, Here and Now. Here and Now is another one. Or rather, some of them were nominations, but he won, for Here and Now, Power of Love. Here and Now is another song that you've been to any wedding of recently. You probably heard it as well. So, a man that is a legend and gone way too soon in Luther Vandross. Just wanted to, very quickly kind of show you his final resting spot here in New Jersey. He passed away from diabetes. It was diabetes related. I remember he did one of his last interviews was with Oprah. And you could see, obviously, because he was sick prior to that, just wasn't the same. I think he had a stroke and barely survived. But a man, a legend, in Luther Vandross, one of these artists that will continue to withhold time. Like, years and years from now, people will be speaking about Luther Vandross.